In this video, we are going to learn how to find the inverse of a function when the original function is y equals mx plus b. Find the inverse of each function. Remember that inverse means that the x's and y's switch. So I will simply switch the x and the y in my equation. And this first problem will become x equals 5/3 y plus 10. And now we need to get y by itself. So to get y by itself, I will first subtract 10 from both sides. And now that I have a coefficient that is a fraction, what I will do is multiply by the reciprocal. So I will multiply by 3/5. Notice that I simply took this fraction and switched the numbers around. That's how you multiply by a reciprocal. And I need to do this to both sides. And when I multiply on both sides, I need to put parentheses because I have x minus 10. So on the right-hand side, the 5/3 and the 3/5 will cancel, and y is by itself. On the left-hand side, I need to think about the distributive property. So I will take 3/5 multiplied by x, which would make 3/5 x, and I will take 3/5 multiplied by negative 10. So negative 10 multiplied by 3/5 would make 6. And now when I write my final answer, I will put y equals at the beginning. So y equals 3/5 x minus 6. When you type this into the computer, you will need to type y equals 3/5x minus 6. Let's look at the next example. Again, for inverses, we always switch x and y. So this problem becomes x equals 1/2 y minus 9. And now we need to get y by itself. So first I will add 9 to both sides of the equation. 1/2 y comes down, and x plus 9 comes down. Again, my coefficient is a fraction. So I will multiply by the reciprocal. So I will multiply by 2/1. Now remember, 2/1 is really the same as 2. When a 1 is on the bottom of a fraction, we don't need it. So instead of multiplying by 2/1, I will simply multiply by 2 on both sides. Remember, on the left-hand side, I will need to add parentheses. So now the 1/2 and the 2 will cancel, and y comes down, and I will use the distributive property. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 9 is 18. So my final answer is y equals 2x plus 18.